Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Stone Inspiration. Today, the acclaimed topic of the day is going to be Leo and Jupiter. Now, before I get started, I just got to mention I'm going to be using all forms of theology, allegory, Greek mythology, to help analyze and put everything together. So, regardless of your denominations, whether you're about Jesus, Horus, Ra, Mary, Isis, Emerald tablets, the Quran, the Bible, all that, hey, it all comes together. At the end of the day, just gotta respect each other's choice, religion, spirituality, all of that stuff, because it all evolved over millennia, right? Different periods of time of our human experience. So, with that said, Leo and Jupiter. And at the end of every video, or in between each video, I'm going to have a secret reveal. So, with that said, Leo and Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is sometimes called the social planet, right? The great benefic. Because why? You benefit a lot from Jupiter because it's very expansive and it's rich with abundance. Basically, Jupiter brings you a lot of good luck with little to no effort. Lots of happiness, achievements, growth, and opportunities. If you've been a good boy, it will test you, but we're going to get into that later. Its astrological placement basically, Jupiter is the largest planet within our known solar system, and it can hold all the other 12 planets or 13 planets, depending on your school of thought, inside of it. Jupiter symbolizes generosity, expansion, and fortune. On the physical human body, Jupiter controls or rules the liver, the thighs, the hips, and your circulatory system. For those of y'all who are into medical school and health sciences, so you could use that as a good anatomy physiology metaphor. So when you think of the circulatory system in a baby, the veins, the arteries, and the capillaries can expand for about 60,000 miles. In an adult, that's 100,000 miles, if I'm not mistaken. Imagine how much leg work that is if you had to walk or drive. That's a lot. Well, that's Jupiter. You see a fine chick walking down the road and she has some nice thighs on her, you could just say, hey, she got a big Jupiter. No pun intended. Anyway, exoterically, Leo defines the classification of our blood type amongst the different races and diversifications of, you want to say the 12 tribes of Israel or the 12 tribes of the zodiac wheel, whatever your school of thought is. Leo rules our blood types and and then the other part of Leo that classifies the blood into the different groups, that's more of the Aquarian energy. But Leo itself is the blood. Greek mythology, Jupiter was known as Zeus. Zeus was worshipped as the king of all gods. Basically, the deeper your faith, the more Jupiter will bless you with abundance, prosperity, wealth, luck, along with everything that was promised to you at your birth. All of these things are listed within your birth chart and your Akashic records. In a woman, in a woman's birth chart, Jupiter usually determines or signifies the her ideal type of husband, and also the children. Now Jupiter It might bless you, but it does not tolerate any weakness or any low vibrational energies such as envy, fear, doubt, hate, because Jupiter is all about growth. If you're not about that life, you're not willing to grow, you step into that Jupiterian energy and you having a low vibrational mindset, it will kick your ass. If you have doubt, all these other things are limiting you and restricting you, Jupiter will force you to confront that because it's all about expansion, growth. And with Jupiter being in Leo, it means you will be blessed with stardom and the spotlight. What is Leo? The sun in the tarot. Leo is the sun card, right? What is brighter than the sun that you know? Nothing. So imagine the expansive nature of Jupiter and the sun together. That's almost unstoppable. All you need to do is believe in yourself, believe in your own magical powers, because these people are magical. Sometimes you're gonna get some cosmic restrictions, which might put your blessings on hold, you know, and you might have to wait till um every was it Jupiter retrograde, like right now we're in, and Jupiter can, hey, surprise you with a blessing. It always comes as a big shock and you don't see it. And the cycle goes every 12 years. That's a Jupiterian cycle. Or sometimes it might hold that blessing for you until you come of age 30, and then you get your crown, and then you undergo a series of tests and karmic lessons to make sure that you can not just walk the walk, but you can talk the talk. And when you're working with Jupiter, you have that Jupiterian energy within you, specifically within displacement. You got to make sure you obey the laws as above, so below, and respect and follow divine authority. Blessings of Jupiter usually come shocking every 3 years, like I said earlier, especially during like a Jupiter return cycle and in between other periods of blessings. Jupiter will put you through major tests to make sure that you are truly worthy of what is going to bless you. Because once it blesses you with that, trust me, it changes your whole life. In the tarot cards, which are divination tools, the Wheel of Fortune, that will be the my ideology will be the Wheel of Fortune. That will be the Jupiter and Leo card. In everyday life, in terms of earthly elements and metals, it's tin. They use it on roofs, construction, but most of all, canned foods. Why? Because it expands a lot and it has the ability not to erode. So you could use it to store stuff for long times. So these are different examples of Jupiter in our everyday life. Famous Jupiter is in Leo. It is my ideology that Joseph in the Bible, one of Jacob's 12 sons, I would say he embodied that Jupiter in Leo energy. His father loved him more than any of the kids, gave him his colored cloak. The brothers got jealous and sold him into slavery. And then he was taken to Egypt, eventually became the steward of Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, right? That's how, with displacement, you can just spring load into stardom. Other famous Jupiters and Leos, believe it or not, are Anderson Cooper, Tony Braxton, Tiana Taylor, Will Smith, Nicole Kidman, Pamela Anderson, Bill Gates, Usher, Pope John Paul II, R. Kelly, Kevin Hart, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, Daniel Craig, William Shakespeare, Aaliyah, Ed Sheeran, Gordon Ramsay, Pink, Robert De Niro, John Legend, Diana Ross, George Lucas of Star Wars, famous YouTuber, astrologer Fernando Perdon, and of course, myself, Stone, inspiration. I am a Jupiter and Leo. Now, in the Leo women are often very, I'll say, loud, and they enjoy, talking about their achievements and their qualities. And in everything they do their best. Everything they touch their best. You know, regardless of their bragging rights and their bragging tendencies, Leo women are much loved and appreciated by their surroundings and their nature. People admire their personality and confidence and are naturally drawn to their magnetizing presence and alluring energy. Leo women are just like the men often occupy leadership positions. They're good organizers and presenters. They're good at marketing and public relations, being in the spotlight, of course. These are the fields that they usually choose to establish their careers in. On the other hand, Leo men love to be the center of attention, but are naturally drawn to their powerful and magnetic personalities and their confidence. People like these things about them. They usually occupy, of course, leadership positions or have great leadership abilities, which make them great leaders in all occasions. These men are often successful, wealthy, very handsome or gorgeous, tend to share a lot of their wealth with those in need because Leo is a sign of generosity and love and loyalty. Unfortunately, they often get targeted by people with bad intentions because sometimes we, as in Leo and Jupiter's, can be very have a certain sense of naivety, a little bit naive, like the whole world is like all happy and lovey dovey until someone stabs you in the back. But usually that's just the way it's divinely orchestrated so we could learn, right? Leo men are very successful in all areas ruled by Leo, and these are often related to the public eye. They're good at marketing, public relations, as well as great actors, musicians, entertainers, and CEOs of big companies. Now, some characteristics of a Leo and Jupiter. To understand Leos and Jupiter, you first need to understand the life of a lion. The lion stays at home and protects the pride. This makes the lion a great protector. And Leo women, the lioness, go out and hunt, thus making the Leo women great, ambitious workers. And amplify this, and you can be downright almost unstoppable depending on other placements in your birth chart. The lion, a lot of people don't notice, but the lion is considered the king of the jungle, not because of his strength per se, but also because of his sexual stamina that supersedes all the other animals in the jungle. With that said, Leo, men and women, or with major Leo placements, especially with a Leo and Jupiter, tend to have a high sex drive. And if you do not keep that on lock, it will get you in trouble. That's all I can say. I'm just, I'm speaking from personal experience. You can have hypersexual desires, urges when you're imbalanced. Given that Leo's already attention seekers and are always in the spotlight and are always some way somehow just miraculously attract, you know, a celebrity or someone in the spotlight, then you can imagine being a Leo in Jupiter. It amplifies that energy times 10, times 100. And of course, with that, you're going to attract and have haters. As a Leo and Jupiter, earlier in my years, I had tried dimming my light, my insecurity of not having to shine over others. But over the years, I realized people are going to hate on you. People are going to be envious of you. People are going to be jealous of you for no good reason. So why dim your light? If you dim it, they still talk shit. If you don't, they still talk shit. So guess what? Shine as bright as you can. Jupiter is a king of all the planets. So basically, Jupiter is Zeus. And being born with the alignment of Leo and Jupiter, and in conjunction with universal law, as above, so below, if Jupiter is a planetary king, then Leo is the zodiac king or queen, thus representing the mere epitome of royalty, willpower, strength, self esteem, motivation, and holders of secret knowledge. Leo and Jupiters attract a lot of elite people, celebrities naturally get attracted to them, and can sometimes be blindly naive, like I mentioned earlier. But fool them once, and they become quick learners, motivated by betrayal, their love, and their loyalty. Leos and Jupiters can be very charismatic, dramatic, dynamic leaders, employees, diplomats, actors, performers, spiritual gurus, born with hidden abilities to tap into the realms of the unseen, beyond the veil, and access occult hidden knowledge that might take others a lifetime to understand or attain. Instead, they are born knowing it. Leos love the good life, fashion, jewelry, luxury. They may not wear name brands, but sometimes the fashion combination looks luxurious. Their presence can be very alluring, charming, and dapper, magnetizing and regal, and sometimes intimidating to a lot of insecure people. As a Leo and Jupiter child, this placement can sometimes be viewed as a curse or a blessing. At least for me, it was. At least it felt that way. But as I grew older, I learned to step and stand and fully walk into my light and not pleasing anyone. Because if not, the universe will send you armies of people your way to overshadow you and take your power away, thus attracting a lot of narcissists and energy vampires. thus causing a lot of Leos and Jupiter to fight to the death if need be, because a lion will fight to protect the pride, right? So you gotta fight to make sure no one takes your light, no one takes your power. And if they think they've taken it, you show them that you can take it back, that they were never in control. In terms of healing and psychic abilities, Leos have a superpower as the great protector and fighters of the zodiac. That's my ideology in all aspects of life, because you can beat them, but you can't break them. They'll just keep coming back. Hence why Leo represents the strength card in the tarot. The Leo is willing to die to protect his pride and its creation. In terms of the chakra system, Jupiter in Leo, that will be to me the solar plexus chakra. Recharging and healing abilities for Jupiter and Leo people come from the sun. So you got to get sunlight, because sunlight activates a lot of stuff within us, especially if you're a melanated person. Got to get into the sunlight. Actually, longer, because Caucasians tend to absorb sunlight faster than melanated people. It's interesting how nature works, but a Caucasian person can stay under the sun for 30 minutes and they're good. But a melanated person needs to stay twice as long in order to absorb the same amount of, sunlight that the Caucasian person absorbed. Also, the solar plexus, which is the Leo and Jupiter energy, rules the subconscious mind, and it helps with programming our auto suggestions. The healing modalities are crystals. So you can use citrine crystals, tiger's eye crystals, um, golden quartz, monokite, yellow calcite, and pyrite. All these crystals help balance out that Leo and Jupiter energy in the solar plexus chakra. If you're working with Reiki or chakra meditation to purify and balance these energy centers. What else? For example, if you were a DJ, right? Um, if you were a DJ, your Jupiter will be your amplifier, and the Leo will be the disco lights. If you were a doctor, your Jupiter will be the stethoscope, because it expands your abilities, that expansive nature. Now, of course, given we are talking about real life, in terms of spiritual attacks, anyone who tries to do black magic, witchcraft, low vibrational shit to people with displacement or cause them harm in any way, shape, or form with the intention of obstructing or even sometimes stealing their destinies. Yes, I've known of people personally who have tried going into other people's Akashic records to switch up their destiny. And that's a high crime, in the spirit realm. All I can say is good luck, because it's going to backfire way back. It's going to backfire on you so bad. because that's like you trying to play God, right? Um, it's my ideology and also my personal experience that people born with this placement is like God knows that God, the creator, Ra, whatever you want to call it, knew that from the day you were born, a lot of people were going to hate on you. So he gave you a birth chart placement where no matter what people throw at you to try to hate on you, to try to stunt your growth, you just keep growing. Because think about it, if you're the sun, what can outshine the sun? Nothing. Not even the moon. Because the moon will still shine and create an outline. Sorry, the sun will still shine and create an outline around the moon, even during an eclipse. So nothing can really, you know, douse your light. It's like a what you call it, a blue chip value in poker. It's like an ace card. It's like God knew throughout these people's lives they were gonna be attacked and harmed, for certain things, and of just people being jealous. So as a result, it give you a little extra zodiac placement there, linking the birth chart to help you balance things out. Jupiter comes to your aid in most cases, in my personal experience, when you have learned the lesson or you have walked the walk and talked the talk and you stay strong in faith, Jupiter will make sure it comes to your aid and help you out every single time. There'll be a hefty price to pay, um, punishment and ancestral karma, karmic debt to pay when you try to unjustly destroy and harm these people from their destiny and attaining their birthright. Most people usually find this out when it's too late. In their past lives, current lives, and life destiny goals, these people were wealthy, royal, of royal bloodlines of some sort. They were recognized, accomplished people and leaders, self made millionaires, multimillionaires, household names, etc. In past life, these people were born into, royalty. And in this life, the universe brought them back again in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not in royalty, but blessing them with that specific placement to put them back again in the spotlight. But with that, you got every Jupiter and Leo knows that they have to expand their knowledge in various fields and passions that they may have, as long as they're not being discredited and they're given credit for what they deserve and what they've done and the recognition that they're due. Jupiter and Leos will always have your back. Other examples of Jupiter's in Leo I mentioned earlier was Joseph in the Bible, in Christian doctrine, and I'll say also Job. Job, where he had everything was taken away from him, and then bam, even better stuff was restored. Don't get me wrong, we are all divinely protected on some level, but with Jupiter in Leo, you get an extra level of protection and an upper hand if you know how to play certain astrological placements. Strike while the iron is hot. There are ways in which you can use that placement to plan and strategize specific goals, accomplishments, and things you want to achieve in life. For example, Leo season's coming up. That'll be a perfect time, for Leos and Jupiter and Leo people to manifest. This is why astrology is very important. You know how to plan stuff out. Jupiters and Leo are destined for the spotlight, of course, in so many ways, shape, or forms. They may walk alone, but they're never alone, for there's always an unforeseen force, entity, spirit that walk with them to protect them as they walk through their insanely intense awakenings, trials, and tribulations of life, which prepares them for their path and their destiny in life, be it being kings, queens, emperors, empresses, presidents, dignitaries, ambassadors, whatever have you. To reach such great heights, you're going to have to be tested by life. And most of the people from the outside looking in have no idea what these people go through. You know, just you can read autobiographies or biographies of some of the other famous celebrities that I've listed. Tiana Taylor, extremely talented. She went through a lot to get there. You know, um, who else is one of them? Will Smith. He's also a Jupiter and Leo. He went through a lot. Bill Gates, Tony Braxton, John Legend, Pamela Anderson, stuff, people like that. And Aaliyah, rest in peace. She was a Jupiter and Leo. And for all Jupiter and Leos, because I've watched a couple other videos over here on YouTube, and a lot of people describe it, but it's not from a personal standpoint. But I have a personal message to all other Jupiter and Leo people. You're going to be tested. And no matter what, don't give up. Fight back. Take one step forward, another step forward, one day at a time. No matter how bad things get, it's just a test. If you're going to be a king to rule a kingdom, you got to build that thick skin. You got to build that endurance, that tenacity to withstand anything that comes at you. Whether you're a king, queen, emperor, empress, you're going to need that. On that note, this is Stone Inspiration signing out. I hope I gave you more than enough information about Leo and Jupiter. And I will see you on my next video.